I'm going to continue on for looking at string apply for matching, and specifically looking at the way that we can back reference specific parts using that. And to use string apply, I realize that I need to use g sub fn, so I've already run it. You see it doesn't load it, so you can see that it is run. Here's where I looked it up specifically. So the way that I'm going to start this out, you can ignore this because you can see that I've been running it a little bit as I worked through some of this. Also, since I loaded in text, this is what text is, a vector with the same string. This is the first example sentence, this is the second example sentence. So I'm going to use string apply with that text. And I'm going to use this first without any back reference. So this is going to say any letter A to Z, any number, 0 or more of them, that is followed, or that comes before I and follows I, A to Z, 0 or more of them. Got our close. And the default function seems to be C, so I'm going to first do this without putting anything in there. And we're going to say that ignore case is true and Perl is also true. So we run this and we see that it finds the words that are letters 0 or more with I, followed by 0 or more, and so on and so forth. So the function C creates this into a vector with the matches. To show how that is the same as if we put in that default function C, it is the exact same thing. So looking at this to reference specific, to be able to back reference specific parts of our matches, I will put parentheses in before the I, and I wanted to put it around the star. And if I don't put the back reference parameter in here, I'll run it first. And in this case, it looks like it found just the first back reference. I was actually expecting it to find both of them, but it looks like it found just the first one. So if we put in the backref parameter and do -1, again, I'm not sure why. Last time I did this, it found both of them, but that is what it's doing. The minus is saying that don't return the matches, and the 1 is saying just the first back reference. So if we want to have it find both the back references, oops, I cut it, then we would have to put in, okay, something is not running quite right here. Oh, interesting. This is the first time that I tried it without the, actually explicitly putting in the C function, and there must be something different about that, because I'm going to go ahead and put all the C in here so that I have it. So the first one that we ran here was the noback function, noback reference, and it finds both of them. So that's the same as -2. Interesting. Okay, so then if I run -1, again, it doesn't return the matches, but it returns just the first back reference, the part before the I, and if I run the -2, we're back at the default. So no match with the I, but both the first and the second. That's interesting because every other time I ran it with the C, so I didn't actually see what had happened when I didn't run it with that. Okay, so let's try it with the positive 2. So it should still reference the first and the second, but it should additionally return the match. So we can see it returned everything, but it returned the match and in that sequence. So match, first, second, match, first, second, and so on and so forth. So one more. Let's return it with just back reference of 1. Again, it's positive, so it returned the match. But this time it will return just the first back reference. And there we have it. So the one additional comment that I'll make in terms of the polarity, the positive, the negative, on one of the Google groups that was discussing this, there was the comment that it depends on which engine you are using. I'm using Perl, so this is how it's interpreting it. But it sounds like it might be different on the TCL engine, which I haven't used, but that might be something to be aware of and to try out. And that's where I'll end.